The problem is now is that the public is not front and centre. The way to solve the problem, and it's like around some schools, right? There are very good, strong arguments for some roads where there are schools to have slower driving, right? I don't think anyone's going to say, well, we always have to have 70 miles per hour like you have on the motorway everywhere, right? Because we can be nuanced, we can use our judgment, and we can have significant big urban planning schemes, which we have civil engineers and we have planners and we have the public at the heart of it. But it has to be not just social engineering with a view that we're at a permanent crisis. You've got to have net emissions, net zero. That means we're going to have shutdowns, we're going to have restrictions, we're going to have limits. Why not have the starting point, what we need? Let's have some ambition and around how we can provide the best for everyone in a city. How can we have fantastic schools, great infrastructure, brilliant hospitals, not water companies that are pumping pollution into the water, not infrastructure that's really old, that's not being invested in, not laying off people or paying them really poorly. How about we put the public front and centre and we say our needs and our interests, and yes, local input around where there are problems, where there are fissures, but not having this new kind of zoneism where you say that's going to happen there across the board. They're all trials that we've heard. They're all trials, but by the way, each trial depends on the next one. And then we're going to impose it across the board, because what we've seen behind all of this, when you take the veil away, there's a plan. There is a plan. And the plan, as Ken Livingstone said a long time ago, if I can get rid of cars, I will. And as we've seen the C40 cities and the mayors around the world and in this country, and as we've seen local authorities increasingly around these livable streets and active travel, the idea is you should walk. A bit like 40 years ago they did in China. You should cycle everywhere. Well, what about if you've got to do deliveries? What about if you are disabled? What about, you know, my mum happens to be disabled now. It takes me 4 times the amount of time to go and see her. I've now got to move from where I am to be around her. The councils don't care. People are nearly kicking off in the street, but they actually like that. Because the more that they can make it painful for ordinary people, the more they can implement those measures. And I think we need to have more brains and attention locally on some of the issues, and but what we need to do is we need to be able to have a proper discussion where people are consulted and listened to. The gentleman's been there a long time and he's very well aware of what's going on, and there needs to be issues. But you need to be able to have a very specific local, regional and national plan, of which at the heart of it is what the British public needs. Not what they say at Davos, not what they say when they fly in their nice jets and they go in air-conditioned limousines and then tell us how much we've got to stop driving and consuming because we're all these like avaricious, nasty termites. But actually, what do we need in our streets, right? And how are we going to get them done? We need infrastructure. We need some reservoirs, right? We ain't built any forever. How about some nuclear energy, right? Let's have proper electrification. Let's not keep saying we're killing everything, we're destroying everything, it's all us. And let's get the conversation back. And what I would really like to see tonight is as many people, as many of you, because this is an electric audience, come and see Chris and the guys afterwards. Get involved, right? If you want to have your voices heard, let's get organised. Let's make sure we've got all sorts of things. Bring neighbours, friends, work colleagues, get them involved with us, right? Let's have some more rallies. Let's do door-to-door. Let's get calls to action to councillors and MPs. Let's make sure they hear Bristol loud and clear together.